Check, check, check. Everyone hear me okay? Hopefully so. All right. I'm getting my mic set up. We're going to have a few problems here because I'm already having to redo OBS Studio again. Bear with me here. Getting a few things set up. Let me know if you can hear my audio okay. I got both lines of chat going like I did before, Twitch and YouTube doing some additional testing. If you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking over at Twitch chat right now, in addition to YouTube chat. So I got a few things up. Sounds like everyone can hear me. Check, check, check. 5x5, Vasily says. Thank you. So, okay, so hold on a minute. Okay, so I have YouTube up, have Twitch up, using Restream again, doing some testing with that. There's some technical stuff with the chat that I need to get fixed up. I hit Griffin up over at Soul Citizens for some of those questions, so he'll get back to me, I think, here in the next few days, and I can get a few of the things that I saw that Soul Citizens is doing and get those working well in this chat. So again, this is a little bit of a test stream, but I thought I would pop in for a bit. I had an hour or so today. I thought, hey, why not jump in, do a little streaming? I can talk about the cargo refactor and maybe what myself, Ender, VMXEO, and Starlet are sort of starting to plan for IAE. Okay, so get a lot of people in chat. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Over on Twitch side, we got my good friend Ender. We have, as always, StarJump Starlet hanging out with us, of course. One of the founding core members of STARJUMP. We got Tobia Bunkerfist. We have Fist to Face. Hope you're doing well. Pops in Space. Two real good guys. Yeah, so we got a crowd building. Thanks for stopping by over on Twitch. And then over on YouTube, we have a bunch of people too. We got VMXEO, Bingo, Fox, Robert. We got a lot of people. Via Nocturne, Kane, Ryan, Death Trooper. We got a whole bunch of people over. So thanks for stopping in again. I'm a little bit tired, so expect this stream to be sloppy as hell. Hey, Fast Cart, hope you're doing well. Salute to you, buddy. Hey, Fast Cart, real quick. I think I'm done with your Banu Merchantman. So I had to rebuild some stuff actually because it was the BMM looks really weird in other colors. So to do black and red, I had to do something kind of special. But I'll show it to you soon. Ace Hambone, hello, salute to you, everyone. I will be getting the both Twitch and YouTube chats into the same stream, like on screen, probably for the next time. I'm looking into how to do that now in like a really clean way. So expect that soon. For now, though, I'll try to read out the question and where it's coming from, so that if you're in Twitch, you know when a question's coming from YouTube or vice versa. So stay tuned there. For anyone wondering about next, I was just talking in regards to FastCart and the FastCart BMM. For any of you wondering about Fleet Viewer updates, the next Fleet Viewer update, we probably most likely will be doing the next Fleet Viewer update sometime during IAE, probably towards the tail end of IAE. The goal is to do a few more supporter ships, a few other things, as well as any new ships that are announced for IAE. Obviously, I'm really, really excited to get the new Corsair in there. Those of you know me, know the Corsair is one of my top 5 favorite ships. So I'll have VMXEO, of course, once that ship is ready to rock and roll. That will, that ship will immediately go into Fleet Viewer, of course. Shackle, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Got a couple follows over on Twitch I probably missed last time. Real quick, everyone, let's get a few announcements out of the way. Obviously, follow me on Twitch if you like STARJUMP stuff. I am going to start getting the streaming going. It's been a little, I actually meant to start it back up about 2 weeks ago, but then all hell broke loose at my day job, and I've really been working almost every day nonstop on some actual day job projects. But that's kind of ending now, and I can get back to focusing on STARJUMP stuff. But follow me on Twitch if you like watching me stream stupid stuff. Follow us and subscribe over on the YouTube. Give a likes up, thumbs up, or whatever on our videos. That's really important to the YouTube algorithm. Also, go over to our our Twitter, StarJump.org on Twitter, and StarJump.org, all one word, and give us a follow over there. Really appreciate it. We do announce all of our like fleet viewer updates, upcoming projects, all that type of stuff. If you're interested in the StarJump cinematics, that's where the StarJump cinematics new, update stuff will start coming in, especially as I get closer to a place where looks like Ender, it looks like exclamation Ender actually worked. Did I fix something? I may have fixed something. I did some changes to Nightbot and Stream Elements. It may be posting things twice, but that's okay. It's going to post it twice. What else are you going to do? So anyway, follow us on all of our stuff. Really appreciate it. Also, if you've been watching Ender's channel over at he just posted it in the chat there. YouTube, I'll post it in YouTube as well. Everyone over in YouTube, go check out Ender's Twitch channel. It's just StarJump_Ender on Twitch. He's doing for Movember and the charity stuff with Guardians. He's doing some awesome ship giveaways this month. Ender, am I okay to announce the specific ships? Have you announced the ships yet? Let me know if you haven't. I don't want to steal any thunder or anything. Okay. Yes. So Ender's giving away some really cool stuff right now. I think he has 2 vultures that are going to be up on the block for giveaways, and Corsair, a Drake Corsair with the whole name reservation, as well as the Crusader Spirit, the 3-pack, with the executive skins. Okay, so he's posting some information. So on November 13th, he's doing his Spirit giveaway. Again, that's the 3-pack, all 3 ships with the executive paints. On the 20th, he's giving away 2 vultures, which keep in mind, the vulture is going to be the first new ship that's bringing new gameplay with it since mining was introduced. So it's going to be a big deal. And then on the 27th, he's going to be giving away a Drake Corsair with the name reservation. Really, really cool. So yeah, right. And Ender clarified on November 20th, it'll be 2 vultures going out to 2 separate winners. So again, if you want to get in on some awesome ship giveaways, head over to Ender's Twitch channel, give him a follow, and keep up with him over there. He streams pretty regularly on the weekends for sure. So keep up with that. And the great thing about what he does is the money that you buy into, because usually you buy a ticket to get into the giveaway. Usually like $5. It's not much, but all that goes to charity. So it's not money that goes to Ender. It goes directly to charity, and he does some really great charities from St. Jude's and many others. But go over to Ender's channel, give him a like, follow, subscribe, stalk him, do whatever you got to do. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Ender's a longtime friend of mine. We've been friends for almost 20 some odd years, and it's really great. He just, in the Twitch chat, everyone, if you're watching on Twitch, he just posted the donate link for the Tiltify Guardians Movember thing in chat. Go check him out. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Well, we're just kind of catching up, really. Again, I'm testing some stuff. It looks like my Nightbot and Stream Elements is somewhat working. Now it'll just be annoyingly working. But let's talk the cargo refactor. Let me see. I'm going to switch over here. And again, bear with me. I'm kind of looking all around. I got too many damn windows open. All right. Okay. We are going to pop up Fleet Viewer. Actually, I'm going to switch over to this. All right, let's just kick this with no audio. Obviously, they talked about the, let me bump up the quality. Why is the quality so terrible? We had an ISC on the cargo refactor. I thought it was awesome. It's something I've really been waiting to see and hear about. Hey, thank you for the follow, Heatstroke. Really appreciate it. On our way to 1,000 followers on Twitch. And again, if anyone has questions or comments, put a question in brackets real big so I hopefully don't miss it. And if I miss it, I apologize. Again, I'm juggling a lot of stuff and on very little sleep lately. But they talked about the cargo refactor. I've only watched this once, so I need to go back and watch it again for more details. But the cargo refactor is sort of step one for um, the entire like physicalized cargo aspect of Star Citizen. For those of you that have heard me talk a lot about this before, I am so keen on these. Well, I consider these core tech in a way. I mean, I know CIG probably doesn't call them core tech internally. They, refer to that for things like persistent entity streaming, server meshing, all that stuff, object container streaming, whatnot. But for me, in terms of Star Citizen actually being a game, this is core tech to me. So things like the cargo refactor and physicalized cargo, damage and breakability on ships, org tools, all that stuff. A quantum, the entire quantum thing that Tony Z is working on. All those things are core tech for the game to actually be a game that we are trying to play. Thanks for the follow, Herbalizer. Appreciate it. Without this stuff, we don't really have a game. We have a kind of skeleton of a space simulator, and I wouldn't even call it a full one at that. We need these systems. I know Starlet just said piracy tech. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's one of the cool things about the cargo refactor that they talked about was that they focused it kind of on two things. One was the how boxes will generate after a ship is taken out, and they talked a lot about piracy gameplay, which is funny because that's such a small part of the cargo refactor and physicalized cargo. Obviously, there's other big aspects to that, such as persistent hangars, loading and unloading tools, the ability for ships' cargo bays to be able to open up properly. I'm thinking Caterpillar, I'm thinking Carrack, other ships like that. The cargo freight elevators in our persistent hangars, we know that's something that's being worked on. Large scale cargo hauling missions, not just the box missions, but big cargo hauling missions. So there's a lot that goes into the cargo refactor, but also the cargo refactor and quote unquote, physicalized cargo. That's going to affect hopefully everything in the game, right? So the way that's going to affect everything in the game and every gameplay loop is it's going to affect combat by rearm, refuel, repair materials, right? So in the future, ships that repair combat ships, you're going to be carrying around all that stuff, especially like extra fuel, extra ammo, all that stuff is going to be in your cargo grid, right? So combat ships will have to rely on the cargo grids of RRR ships. Mining ships are going to have to physically unload the mining materials bags. They've actually talked a little bit about that on how the prospector bags and the mole bags will have to be, those bags are going to have to be moved just like an actual 1SCU box. So it's going to affect mining. It's going to affect salvaging. We've already seen that on how the the refined materials stuff that gets ejected by the vulture and the reclaimer. That's physicalized cargo. Piracy, right? They talked a lot about piracy in this video, and how now if you are to take out a ship, you've got a lot of loading to do. So again, that's then encouraging you to bring friends along with you. So this is why I consider this stuff core tech, because it directly goes into, it's not just a feature, it truly does start to spiderweb out to the entire game and starts to pretty drastically affect things. I've seen a lot of videos from content creators and mentions on Twitter and other things that straight up call out like this is going to make life great for pirates. Well, it will, but in many ways it's going to introduce real pirate gameplay, which we all know was coming. So that's not a mystery. No one should have been surprised about that. But it's also, if you're hauling a huge cargo load, right? Let's say if you have a C2 fully loaded, it does give you a little bit of impetus to maybe call a friend, have them fly escort with you. Now, to go along with that, I have seen. Hey, Fox Velox, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Salute to you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. I mean, it's let me turn Jared off here. Um, so it while yes, I think that it will probably affect some things like piracy gameplay being a thing and people trying to perform that. It also will come into you taking escorts along with you, but the pirates aren't going to have it made in the shade. They've still got to do a ton of manual retrieval and loading. And honestly, if they're willing to do the work, then more power to them to be pirates. I mean, technically, in the future, if I want to take on the risk of flying a fully laden hull C, which I think if I forget me and Starlet's original math, but if the hull C's full out cargo is like 4,608 or something like that SCU, that is a lot of cargo. And if I'm willing to risk transporting all that with no protection whatsoever, there should be risk there, right? However, to make that risk worth it, CIG needs to, and this is why I talked a little bit about large cargo hauling missions. So missions that say, hey, I need 4,000 SCU of medical supplies delivered to Pyro from Stanton. There should be a huge payout for that, but it also should be high risk, right? The payout should be enough that if I decide to hire, let's say I hire Ender to fly security with me, or even 2 or 3 other people, there should be enough money there for me to be able to factor in 10 to 15% fees to those protecting escorts, factor that into my hard costs, and what a hard costs are is that, let's say if I spend $1 million on cargo to load up my hull C, but my profit is going to be, let's say, 2 million profit when I deliver the cargo. Let's say it's let's say I double my money essentially. Then the hard costs would be the $1 million to load up my cargo, and then maybe it's 150,000 payout for each escort fighter, right? So let's say I hire 2 escort fighters, that's 300,000 I'm paying for protection. And let's say I have my $1 million cargo investment, my 300,000 investment in security, I take it to Pyro, I sell it, I then make, what's that? I make 700,000 in profit, right? Now, I could maybe make $1 million profit or 1 million credits in profit, but with no protection, right? So you're going to have to weigh that risk, and maybe the escorts, they can negotiate things too. For example, if they're like, hey, I usually charge 150,000 or 15% of whatever your cargo haul is. I charge 15% to run protection. Here's my current personal reputation numbers. Take a look at them, and you'll be able to see for yourself that I'm a solid person, and people think I do what I do well. If you're willing to leave a good review for me and help with my personal reputation, then I'll do it for 100,000 credits, right? Or maybe that's sort of, and the personal reputation thing will be that'll be the reason that the escort pilots want to do their job, because the last thing they want to do is get a negative mark on their personal reputation. So all these things kind of cycle and help each other out. That's why I think it's extremely important for this personal reputation thing to be put in the game. As a matter of fact, I think that could go in the game sooner rather than later, to be honest with you. We haven't heard them talk about it in a long time, although I have heard CIG mention it before. If anyone knows anything specific about it, pop it in chat. But personal reputation is going to be absolutely key. We are going to need to know in the future, when everything's a lot more dangerous and the stakes are much higher, especially when Death of a Spaceman's fully there. We're going to need to know if it makes sense to hire someone hire someone in their refueling services, I'm going to check their personal reputation. So I think that's pretty key. Um, and if they have marks against their reputation, you may not want to risk it. You may want to, go to sleep in your ship on the in the crew quarters and wait for an org buddy to get on that has a refueler. You know what I mean? You may want to weigh that. So let me look in the chat here, see if I miss anything over here in YouTube first. Tunstavern, hopefully I said that right. I do like that Piracy will have an actual payout now. I do too. I don't consider myself into the pirate gameplay at all, but I want it to be in game because I want there to be risk for doing anything in game. However, I do think pirate gameplay is going to feel a little annoying at first to all the victims of it until the resource management stuff gets in that prevents ships from exploding instead of going into more of a wrecked state. Until that happens, I think piracy gameplay is going to be very annoying to a lot of us. Let's see here. Ten says, I see this being what makes hauling to Pyro mega profitable. I want to avoid pirates staying in the UE. 100%. So one thing Tunstavern said over in YouTube is, he says, I see this being what makes hauling to Pyro mega profitable. Want to avoid pirates staying in UE controlled space. 100%. And I think that's what should guide the mission payouts for the big cargo hauling missions. So if I take let's say a 4,000 SCU hauling mission from Microtech to Crusader, there should be barely, I mean, I should scrape by on a little bit of profit, but it should not be that big of a deal. However, if the mission requires me to go through a jump point, requires me to go through Pyro, especially a system like Pyro that's not UEE controlled, there should be a lot bigger payout there. And that should factor into what you're willing to pay your escorts, right? So if you have an escort friend come up and you say, hey, you know what, I'm just going from Microtech to Crusader, I'll throw you 50,000 UEC. And they're like, oh, sure, cool. But if you're like, hey, I got to go to Pyro, and that's going to require you to run protection with me, but not only run protection, you're going to have to stop halfway through before we go through the jump point and refuel because you're in a small fighter, right? And then you may have to refuel on the other side of Pyro, right? Or I have to take someone else that has a small ship that can carry your fighter. Maybe it's a Polaris, maybe it's a Liberator, whatever. It's again, those are all costs that then have to be factored in, which means those cargo runs that take us from system to system are going to get exponentially more expensive. Yeah, and like Bingo says over on YouTube, you could misnavigate that jump point and fail your entire cargo run if CIG sticks to that paradigm of how jump points will work. Chris Roberts said that you can be knocked out of the jump point and heavily damaged. So let's see here. Let's switch over to Twitch real quick here. See what everyone is saying over there. You're going to perform the same function for pirates. I think. Yeah, I mean, Ender says something here too, where he's talking about. No, well, actually, let me back up. So Starlet says pirates won't be alone either, and they don't carry the burden of the cargo cost. The equation doesn't balance. So you're 100% right. Right now, it does not balance at all, and that's exactly why I say piracy gameplay is going to be super annoying at first, especially to the victims of it. However, there is an easy way to offset the piracy advantage right now. And that is death of a spaceman. We technically need that in the game. And what I mean there is, and armor and breakability. Okay, we need those things, and here's why. And better ship balance. But here's why those things are important. Because if the pirates show up, let's say they're flying a couple Hornets, but let's say you have let's say you have like a Retaliator flying with you, and maybe Connie flying protection with you. I don't know. And let's say those two ships knock out those fighters, right, with their missiles and all that stuff. Those ships should not just blow up and then those people respawn at the nearest space station and fly back to attack you really quick. They should go into a down wreckage state. Those pirates are then going to have to EVA out of their fighter, start doing some repairs, or call in a repair ship. They also have to be careful not to risk dying, because if they do, then because of death of a spaceman, they're being regenerated back at their home base. They've lost everything. They've lost their ship. The punishment, not to mention the crime stat, but that to me is secondary. The risk of losing your stuff and being set back a ton should be a very heavy burden, and I think that will keep the pirates in line. As a matter of fact, what it will probably do is make pirates never go out unless they're with a group of pirates. Um, and then again, much like other space games, you're going to have to kind of know, as a cargo hauler, you're going to have to kind of know what the risk is, and it's going to take a while to figure that out. CIG does really need to do a better job of explaining how a lot of these systems they talk about, how they're going to work together as an overall ecosystem, because they've talked about radar and scanning, they've talked about cargo refactor, they've talked about a little bit about this and a little about like resource management. They've talked a little bit about armor. We need to know how all these systems are going to work together. And one way they could do that is show us. They don't need to show us in game or anything, because I think a lot of these things are still in the concept phase. But they need to show us what they see as their site map, their overall flow of a large scale mission like that, and all the things that can possibly happen, and the counteract, and the risk, the rewards, the counteracts that can happen, all that stuff. So specifically, what I mean is, let's say if you're flying a Hull E and you're going to do 100,000 SCU cargo delivery. Well, first off, to do a Hull E cargo delivery should never be a single player. It should never be that. That's why the Hull C or the Hull B and all that exists. The Hull E cargo delivery should be something that takes a week, 2 weeks to get going, set up, properly organized, all that stuff. It should be an org level task, right? And what I hope in future org tools is, I hope there's sort of an in-game calendar system that can be set up that people can sign up for, right? So I hope in future org tools you can put on there, hey, Hull E run, let's say you're in the STARJUMP org. STARJUMP org is going to do a Hull E run from let's say Stanton to the Nix system. We're going to have to pass through Pyro or whatever the system link is through jump points. And then in that posting, I personally hope they have things needed. So capability needs, or maybe ship needs, however they want to detail that out, and a sign up sheet, right? So I want to be able to post that I'm doing a holy mission. I want to be able to post what everyone's percentage profit will be. And then I want to be able to post what I need. So maybe I need a repair ship to come with us. I need 2 refuelers. I need at least 6 fighter escorts. I need a herald to be with us in order to run that stuff. It'd be nice if they put some tools in there for that. I could see them not doing that and just us having to manage that manually. But regardless, there should be something there so that the entire org for the next week or 2 weeks can build a plan of action to tackle that problem, right? So everyone knows, hey, oops, 1 second. Hang on, everyone. So should be a way for everyone to go, oh, okay, my org is doing this big thing in 2 weeks. I'm going to be part of that. I'm signing up. I'm only bought a starter package. I only have the Mustang. It's my starter ship. I've signed up for it though. I'm going to be that that cargo pilot. He's the person that posted says they're going to do a let's say it's a 50,000 UEC payout for each fighter escort. Was someone with a starter account, I might go, hey, not only do I want to join in and be with my org that night, but I want to, it just sounds like a fun event. So I'm going to sign up for it. And that's the gameplay loop right there. This should be the same thing if you're planning on bringing out any ship of that size and scale. If it's the Javelin, if it's the Idris or the Kraken. Well, maybe the Kraken to a lesser degree, and I'll get into why that is. But The Idris especially, and the Javelin, two ships that have pretty massive crew counts. But we should have some sort of way for org to get involved in those ships and be able to post that certain roles need to be covered. But all that factors into it has to be worth it, right? The payout has to be worth it. So I think for a big, like, let's say a Hull E cargo mission that's running 1,000 or 100,000 SCU of cargo. Let's say let's say to fill that ship up, I'm just going to guesstimate here. I have no clue what it would cost, but let's say it costs 100 million UEC to fully load the Hull E. Okay, let's say it takes 100 million UEC. The payout for that should probably be something like, let's say if you're running it across multiple systems, the payout for that should maybe be something like, maybe it's 100 and maybe it's 1 point, or let's see, maybe it's 170 million credits, right? Let's say it's a 70% profit, right? So let's say 170 million credits. Okay, well, you pay back your own bank coffers, maybe, because probably coming out of an org bank at that point, 100 million SCU, AUEC, or UEC, sorry. So you pay back the 100 million that you used to buy all the cargo. That leaves you with 700,000 credits, or sorry, 700 million. What am I talking about? No, I'm still wrong. Sorry, 70 million credits to divvy up amongst the people that flew with you. And I bet you those numbers are going to be much higher, actually. I think to fully load a, well, let's do some back of the napkin math real quick. Does anyone know how much it costs to fully load a, we're just going to take like Laranite or something, or titanium or something, to fully load a C2? Does anyone know that? Where's my cargo haulers? Hey, Kanaska, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Hopefully I said that right. Everyone, we are 6 followers away from 100 or from 1,000 Twitch followers. Let's make it happen. Let's see here. Brian Mickey says a tanker don't have to pay for the load. That's interesting. So, Brian, are you saying maybe there would be some loads that we actually don't pay for, that we don't pay for the cargo's value? We just agree to transport it, but let's say if we lose the cargo, then we would maybe have to pay back. Is that kind of what you're saying? Astra Cantano, hello. Salute to you. Hope you're well. That's right, Ender. We are at 995 followers on Twitch, trying to get to 1,000. Hope everyone will help me. Okay, so Via Nocturne over on YouTube says, I filled my C2 with gold, cost me 400K. Okay, so that's 600. What's the Carrack? Is it around 600 or sorry, the C2 is around 600 SCU. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna do some math now. So back of the napkin math. So, okay, back of the, hey, thank you, Outlaw Night Zero, for the follow. Really appreciate it. Tunstavern, thank you for the follow. Really, really, really appreciate it. Okay, so 696. Let's do some back of the napkin math here. So I'm going to look up the Hull E, and we'll get a cost to fill it at today's prices, which obviously will not be correct. Okay, so it has a cargo capacity. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the cargo capacity is 98,304 SCU. So let's divide that by 696 for the C2. That gives us 141.2. Okay, so 141.2 times the 400,000 it took to fill the C2. All right, that means if we went by today's money to fill your hull E with gold, assuming you can fill it all in one load of one commodity. I doubt you can. We're just doing back of the napkin math here, folks. But to fill the hull E would be 56,480,000 credits. And this is probably on the drastically low side because as money and economy starts to fluctuate, I think all these commodity prices are going to go up. Lobster Mac, it's 1.9 million for Laranite. Okay, yeah, so those numbers just keep going up. So it gives you, again, it gives you an idea. It gives you an idea. Tasteless Max, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Salute. Hope everyone is well. By the way, everyone, I have some cool giveaways coming up soon. I was probably going to give one thing away during IAE and one thing away in the month of December. For IAE, I probably will be giving a Vulture away. And then for December, I'll probably be giving a Stream Deck away. I'm going to do another Stream Deck or a Tobii eye tracker. One of the two. I'm trying to work that out now, but I want to get one of those going for people. Okay, so and all you have to do to get into those is follow the channel on Twitch. Or follow the channel on Twitch. These will be Twitch giveaways for YouTube. If I do a Stream Deck for Twitch, then I'll do a Tobii eye tracker for YouTube, and vice versa. If I end up doing the Stream Deck for YouTube, then I'll do the Tobii eye tracker for Twitch. I'm working out the giveaway stuff now. I need to set up a few things for that, and I'm actually prepping some like promo materials for those two giveaways. But expect the first one to be announced probably about a week before IAE. So stay tuned on that. Okay, so let's see here. Orbit, first time chatter. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And then Victoria. Hope you're well. Victoria, saw Victoria at Equinox. Me and Ender went out there. VMXEO was there as well. Salute to you. Hope you're well. It was such a great time at Equinox. And Victoria, I have to say, was it Game Arena that Equinox was at? That was such a cool venue. I don't know if you guys plan on doing Equinox there in the future, but just as someone who was there participating, I really love the venue, like their setup and stuff. But one thing I'll point out, and I even told the bartender there, I thought the staff was really nice, which can go that goes a long way sometimes. That goes a long way into making it feel like a cool event, is the bartender and the wait staff and the kitchen people and stuff all being cool, and they really were. So hats off. Hope you guys do it at Game Arena. And yeah, I'm in Columbus. I live here full time, so I will definitely be back. No problem there. Excuse me, I am coughing a little bit. Yeah, Victoria, it was a great time. Ender, I'm sure we'll be back for the next one too, 100%. And maybe next time CIG will intrude on our Equinox and we can do some actual panel discussions and stuff there at Equinox. That would be a lot of fun. I could maybe prep a cool like STARJUMP presentation or something. So real quick, I'm going to go back up to my first time chatter. Albit said a hull E with Laranite, 264.3 million buy, 304.8 million sell, 40.5 million profit. Okay, yeah. So, Orbit, I'm not sure if you're using like today's numbers, which it sounds like maybe you are. So, those numbers too don't even take into account quantum at all. So, we can be sure those numbers are probably going to go up. And CIG hasn't really talked about, system to system cargo trips, right? So going through Pyro or whatever, which may add a huge premium onto those profit numbers because of the risk. So we could see those go up, and you quickly start seeing that you might make a lot of money, and that could go into paying for all that, whether it's fighter protection, refueling services, repair services, whatever. It may not always be fighters either. You may want someone to bring their Polaris along to act as sort of command and control, and with that capital radar and scanner, It can scan, although I think Starlet or someone told me the Hull E has a capital size radar. Is that true? Let me look it up here because now I'm curious. Someone told me that recently, even though I thought the Polaris was the only ship with that. But let's look it up. Nope, they're right. The Hull E has a capital class radar. I didn't know that. Now I know. Knowing's half the battle. Okay. So yes, the Hull E has a, but you get what I'm saying though. There's other type of ships you could take along with you. You know, maybe you take a Herald or a Star Runner or something to go way ahead of the pack, or maybe go to the destination where you're taking the shipment first to start doing scanning and see who's lurking around there. So you might send people in advance. Hell, you might send a Liberator with some fighters already loaded on it to a Lagrange point that you know you're going to hit, just to be pre-staged for you. I mean, there's lots of stuff you can do with that. Starlet says, and the Javelin. Okay, cool. Got everyone over on YouTube. Thanks for stopping by. Again, everyone, I am doing a dual stream with Restream here, both Twitch and YouTube, so bear with me if I miss stuff. I'm going to switch back over here to, I'm going to switch back over here to my Fleet Viewer. You know, things can get kind of crazy. So let's say if we do let's not even say the Hull E. Let's do something. Oh no, let's do Hull E. Let's do Hull E. Let me select let me do some canvas settings here. You're watching old Grim here. Use Fleet Viewer. This could be a disaster. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's say you are rocking the Hull E. Nice big ship. Okay. I could see just going along, like if you're taking this much cargo, this much risk, I can already see that you're going to want to take a couple fighters, right? So just for the sake of getting some stuff on the board here, you know, let's say you bring a few fighters, right? Right. You have your fighters flying with you, right? Okay. So you may have something like that, right? And then you may say, well, I'm doing almost like a little fleet builders here. You might have your refueling ship with you. You also may bring a Vulcan along with its repair drones, just because it has flexibility to you know, repair others and stuff. So it might be flying in this fleet, right? Let's say, and then let's say you want that little bit of extra ump. A couple people from the org decide to help you out, so they're going to bring along their Perseus. It's kind of leading the pack, right? And then maybe you bring along a Herald for some kind of advanced scanning and whatnot. So it's out here in front. There's a lot of ways to kind of slice this pie up, right? And one thing you'll know if you've watched our YouTube channel or Ender's Twitch channel, on Sunday nights, every other Sunday, we do an episode of Fleet Builders live. We'll be doing one this Sunday, focusing on racing, which is kind of cool. So tune in for that on Ender's Twitch channel. But you can see here how it's a lot of fun to kind of theory craft with Fleet Builder a lot of times. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to skin this cat. So you may take an ensemble like this where you have the 4 fighters, right, going along with a Perseus, but you might switch that up. Maybe you don't want the fighters, right? So we move them off the board. And maybe you decide you're going to take a Hammerhead with you, right, to play that anti-fighter role, okay? Again, there's a lot of ways to organize something like this. Maybe, you know, or maybe you do have your fighters in there and you bring along a Kraken instead to help escort you. And that way the fighters have a way to get from system to system to system because they can ride on the back of the Kraken. Again, there's a lot of ways to slice this up, right? A lot of ways to slice this up. Or as an org, you may decide, hey, we're not going to take a Hull E. We're not going to do that at all. We're going to take, we want to be a little careful, right, with our, instead of putting everything on one ship, maybe that's a little harder for us to protect. So we're actually going to take it out in 3 Hull E's. That way, if, God forbid, one of them gets taken out, you still have 2 that can maybe get away, right? Or maybe you split this fleet up a little bit, right? Maybe they're all tracking out on hull E's, or sorry, hull D's, but you have them split up and you task a refueler along with each of them, right? So a refueler gets tagged with each of them, and you have a couple people in this come along in this hammerhead along with this one. Maybe this hull D has a Starfare and a Vulcan and a Perseus flying with it. Maybe this one over here has a Herald and a couple of those fighters flying with it. You may you may slice up that cargo delivery in a lot of different ways. So it may not be as simple as just saying, "Oh, how are we going to deal with this on a hull E or whatever?" You might do a convoy of cargo ships, right, to mitigate risk. And I think again, that's the type of gameplay I am personally looking forward to. It's not the gameplay that is, hey, I want to go out and salvage a derelict. When I'm playing any game, whether it's Arma 3 or Star Citizen, I want to be able to make my own gameplay. So for me, um, again, one of the things I really like is the gameplay, the gameplay loop of planning logistics like this, planning out how we're going to get things from A to B to C. It's not necessarily a gameplay loop, but it's almost just as important, right? And I can tell everyone too, for those of you that are enjoying fleet builders and kind of enjoy figuring stuff out using fleet builders, or sorry, fleet viewer like this, I do have some features, and I know Starlet does as well, some features that specifically can kind of help with this in mind, that for a future update to fleet viewer we'll try to get in there. We got fleet viewer to a really good point. Starlet did a ton of quick updates to it, and 1 second. Starlet did an amazing work getting so much into the first release. I almost couldn't believe how feature rich the first release of Fleet Viewer was. But we do have plans to do a version 2 release, right? So version 2.0 that will contain a lot of additional features, usability features. We want additional data to be on here. So for example, I would love, I'm not making any promises here, anyone, but I would love if you click on a Starfare, I would love to have a little bit of info pop up on, or a little icon that you can click that'll bring up a little info box for it, right? That has maybe SCU, cargo count, crew count, anything else like that. So stuff like that will eventually come into Fleet Viewer. It's going to take some time. At some point soon, I don't know exactly when it will be. At some point, though, me, Starlet, VMXEO will get back together and start figuring out what's the feature set for Fleet Viewer version 2. I know there's been some requests for other viewing angles and stuff like that. That's something I need to talk to VMXEO about. I mean, now that we have all the projects, it may not be a big deal to do like an extra angle. But that's something we need to talk about and look at and kind of organize ourselves around and say, okay, hey, we're going to add 2 more angles or whatnot. But anyways, that is something we are playing on. Discussions are starting soon, etc. So let's go back to our chat here. Again, thanks everyone for the follows. I am 2 away from 1,000 followers on Twitch. So if you haven't given a follow and you like StarJump, you like Fleet Viewer, you like the stuff we do, the cinematics, our Fleet Builders show, give us a follow. We really appreciate it. And knowing that you all are really into this stuff, gets us excited and makes us make more content, to be totally honest with you. Okay, I'm going to clear the canvas real quick here. Delete selected. By the way, pro tip to everyone on Fleet Viewer, if you have the ability to turn your mouse wheel to smooth, do that. Starlet pointed that out to me, and it's very true. It works great. I need to fix the Fleet Viewer window here. Bear with me. I think that's mostly right. Nope, that's not right. Why isn't that working? Stand by, everyone. I'm fixing something. Okay. My Fleet Viewer window is a little big. This is definitely a live stream, no doubt about it. Okay. let's talk. Got a little bit more time here. Let me catch up here on chat. It's me and the Perseus. Again, everyone, if you haven't checked out Fleet Viewer, go check it out. StarJumpFleetViewer.com, all one word, or you can go to hangar.link. Also, and when you get to hangar.link or StarJumpFleetViewer.com, there'll be two paths to take. One is to Fleet Viewer, one is to Hangar Link. Check them both out. They're both really cool. Our wonderful Starlet, who is over in the Twitch chat, I believe, did all the work on pulling Fleet Viewer together, and obviously she created Hangar.link. And then myself and VMXEO, also in chat, did all the visuals, and of course I did a lot of the early concepting and ideation for the Fleet Viewer. We got a lot of big plans coming there, though. Again, so the follows and all that goes a long way in helping us know that you're enjoying the content, or you're liking the direction of content and unique stuff we're making, and encourages us to do more. So Blackjack Shellac, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Salute to you. Okay, back over in YouTube chat for a quick second. Lobster Mac, hope you well. Lobster Mac says, I think the Hully is going to primarily transport missions where the payout adjusts for losses. Yeah, that's possibly correct. Yep. Okay, let's talk about ships for IAE. So we'll use our Fleet Viewer here to talk about it. I think the number one thing that's on my mind for IAE is the Drake Corsair. We know this ship is going flight ready. It's been stated by John Crew. The model you're seeing, by the way, is the current holo model, textured to be somewhat pretty. But if you've seen any of the images of the Corsair in the IAE trailer, you will know it's a lot more detailed and amazing looking. And they did make some design changes to the Corsair. I'll go over what a couple of those design changes are, and some of them are kind of fundamental. But as soon as the Drake Corsair hits the PTU, my good buddy VMXEO of the StarFab team will pump out a new visual set of renders for the Corsair that we can all enjoy. So a couple changes to the Corsair. I'm going to drop down another one here. Did I add it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I messed up. Okay, let me delete this. Okay. So they did make a couple design changes with the Corsair. The first one is, if you didn't know this already, is that the Corsair was originally a true asymmetrical ship, in that the cockpit ran along this line. You can see this line here, that kind of this spinal area here that runs back from the cockpit directly on the back, runs directly back and then hits around here. But you see the true center of the ship, which is this piece of geometry, is actually offset from that a little bit. So the cockpit was not along the center spline of the ship. Okay. In the new Drake Corsair, that has been changed. That is no longer the case. The cockpit has been adjusted, and the entire ship has been kind of like that, so that the cockpit in the new version goes right along the center spline of the ship here. So there have been some adjustments made in the Corsair in terms of its overall ship layout and structure. Let's see. So anyways, Drake Corsair, we know it's going to be a pretty heavily gunned ship. I saw a couple of changes to the early flight ready ship in the IAE trailer. They've changed the position of the bottom turret guns. They now stick out on gimbals, much like the nose turrets here. So pilots, I believe, will be in control. Do not quote me on this. Do not buy the ship based off this. But I think pilots will be in control of size 4 weapons that are size 4 gimbaled and size 5 fixed. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, chat. Or is it size 4 fixed? Size 3? No, I think it's size 4 gimbaled, if I'm not mistaken. As then, I think they're also in charge of the 2 size 3. Have they updated the let's check it out. Let's look up the specs again. Make sure I am not hallucinating. Let's see here. Okay, so the last we heard that pilots will be in control of 4 size 5 fixed size 5s. Those would be size 4 gimbaled, and then 2 fixed size 4 size 3 gimbaled weapons. It'll be all pilot control. That's some pretty hefty firepower. It also carries let's see, I think it's 4 racks of size 3 missiles, 2 per rack, so it's a total of 8 missiles of size 3. We also heard at one point, if I'm not mistaken, that the ship does or will get a tractor beam. I'm not 100% sure if that's still the case, but I know at one point that is what was talked about. We also don't know if the Corsair has changed in size. It's currently listed at 55 meters, but I would not be shocked if the Corsair has grown a little bit, something like 60 meters. We do know that the Corsair's overall shape has changed. Like I said, it's no longer a true asymmetrical ship. The cockpit runs along the center line of the ship, and it's really just some geometry that makes it feel truly asymmetrical. I mean, I guess if you want to consider the wings asymmetrical, you can. I don't personally do that because in space, those wings do not affect the aerodynamics of the ship. It's kind of weird. In some ways, I guess you could call it an asymmetrical ship in atmosphere, but in space, asymmetry doesn't really play the same. And from a design perspective, um, its asymmetry is not function, it's just kind of form. It doesn't really affect anything. It's very much like the MSR. The MSR is not a true asymmetrical ship. It's just designed to look that way. John Cruise even talked a little bit about this on how true asymmetrical ships are very difficult to get working properly in terms of the thrusters and all that stuff. Hey, Death Trooper, hope you're well. By the way, everyone on Twitch, we are literally 1 follower away from 1,000 followers. Who's going to be my 1,000 follower? I don't know. Someone will be the 1,000 follower. But it's not a true asymmetrical ships. The thrusters on the Corsair and the MSR are actually symmetrical along the center line as well as the cockpits. So they're not the same as like the Caterpillar, which is definitely an asymmetrical ship with its cockpit being outside of the center line and not centered to the engines. So just something to keep in mind. Next, we are pretty certain, although it's not it's not been confirmed at all. It's pretty certain that we're getting a let me move back over here. Possibly some sort of medical variant to the Pisces or the C8X or C8, because there's 2 variants currently. Everyone knows that this ship is the essentially the snubcraft, the shuttle for the Anvil Carrack. They were developed at the same time. The Pisces was developed specifically for the Carrack. It was not developed as it's a standalone ship, and I'm glad they made it a standalone ship. Uh-oh, we got our 1,000 follower E-Flanks. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Salute to you. You were the 1,000th follower. A-Dragon911, also follower. One of you were definitely the 1,000 follower. Stream manager saying it's E-Phalanx, but thank you either way. Lobster Mac also followed. So now we are clearly over the 1,000 follower mark. Thank you, everybody. That's awesome. Really appreciate it. You guys are killing it. Love it. Very nice. Very nice, EP. Appreciate it. Salute to everyone who's followed and helped support STARJUMP projects. That's a big deal, especially for a channel like mine where I don't stream all the time. I don't do giveaways all the time. I really appreciate that support. Although, hang on, starting at IAE, the giveaways will be turning back on for my channel. We'll be starting off with a Vulture and Elgato Stream Deck and possibly a Tobii eye tracker, as well as maybe a Corsair. I'm thinking maybe a Corsair to give away. We're looking into that. And then I'm in discussions with someone maybe for a bigger giveaway, a much bigger giveaway sometime around IAE, or sorry, around Invictus of next year, which I know is a long way off. don't worry about that one too much now, but I'm trying to organize something for STARJUMP that's like a big ship giveaway. So more on that later. Thank you for the follow, Young Tango. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So again, we think we're getting another variant of the C8 Pisces variant of ships, possibly the C8R, which is a medical Pisces. It's going to be a tight fit, but what I think it's going to be is a medical bed pushed up to the side of the cargo bay in the Pisces, and possibly a jump seat in there. And that's what it'll be a small little medical shuttle. I personally think that's a really great option for people who want to operate their Carrack as a medical ship. Real quick here, VMXEO, I don't know if you're still in chat, but while I was at Equinox with Victura and Ender and VMXEO and all the great people, one of the things I got was, I'll hold it up here, is I got an Anvil Carrack JRDF model. I've started painting it. You can see my paint job here. Young Tanko, thank you for chatting. Appreciate it. You'll see my Anvil Carrack. It's not finished yet. I still have to get the other parts and pieces on it, but I've done all the painting. I think it's coming out pretty good for my first model. Oops. Yep. First model. I haven't glued any of the pieces all together, so everything is still able to be, come apart. I still got to get the engines in, all that good stuff. Yeah, thanks, VM. It's, again, first model, but I've got all the parts and pieces painted separately, and then once I glue everything together, I will, where is it? Once I get everything together, I will then do some touch-up painting around it. But those of you that may not know, let me grab it. It's right over here. Stand by. Stand by, everybody. Stand by. Okay, so everyone knows, I'm going to take the wings off the Carrack real quick here. All right, let me, it's kind of, what's really cool about these models is they allow you to use it as visual aids. So let me switch back over to my full cam. So the Carrack carries underneath in its modular cargo section, which is right here, it carries these boxes, right? And these boxes fit nice and neat up under here. You've probably seen them on the Carrack. These boxes, here's one from the model with its side bays open. For any of you that didn't know, the Carrack carries 3 of these big containers underneath its bottom side, and the doors are closed, so it kind of just looks like external cargo pods. But what those actually are, for those that don't know, and is another reason why I think the Carrack is seriously one of the best ships in the game, and in the future, I mean, is that these pods are able to be dropped off anywhere, and the doors open on both sides, so it becomes this complete pass-through thing. They've already talked about how these little pods are going to be able to carry vehicles. As a matter of fact, I think you can fit an entire Spartan or Centurion or Ballista in here. That's how big they are. They can fit one, but these are supposed to be modular. So I personally am hoping that one of the modular features of this is some sort of field hospital, field clinic. So let's say ground side, there's a lot of combat going on, or someone's building an outpost or whatever, but they don't have any medical facilities at that outpost yet because they're just started. Maybe they hire a friend to come over in their Carrack, drop a little medical clinic at their outpost to just work as a small temporary medical facility for their outpost until their own medical stuff is up and running. As soon as it is, the Carrack comes back by, picks the pod up, takes it away, good to go. I really could see that making for an awesome medical Carrack variant in the future. We don't know if this C8R is tied to any sort of medical Carrack variant, but I think it would be really cool if they decide to do that. Let's see here. Africanito, hopefully I said that right. Maybe followers, primes, or viewers, biome. Okay, we're gonna have to go ahead and ban that dude. Ender. Maybe Ender can take care of that if he knows how to do it. I forget everything. Let's see. Stand by. All right, they are blocked. Got it. Okay. Let's see here. Victoria, would be cool to see them become little bases of operation, habitat, medical ops. Absolutely, Victoria. I could see 1,000 reasons why they want that. One maybe is a little armory. Maybe one is a little repair shop or whatever that could be dropped off. If that's if that's the direction they go with those modular pods for the Carrack, even more than it already was, is quickly becoming one of the best ships in Star Citizen, in my opinion. I'm gonna go back to here and spawn the Carrack real quick. Let's back up here. Let me go to the side view. Here's where you can see those pods, everybody. Right under here. Those are the 3 pods. That is this little pod. Okay. So when that pod drops down, those doors open on both sides, supposedly. And if you've walked through a Carrack, those pods are pretty sizable. Okay. Those are pretty sizable pods. Ender, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We're going to get Ender those 170 followers over on his channel as well. Again, if you haven't followed Ender on Twitch, what are you doing? Got to follow him too. He's a member of STARJUMP. Got to do it. STARJUMP, and that is STARJUMP_Ender on Twitch. He just pinged it there. So definitely go give Ender a follow. Again, he's got a lot of cool stuff coming for giveaways for the month of October. So I think he's going to pull in some people here. Also, don't forget, if you want to support us, support STARJUMP projects, head over to our Patreon. That link just populated too, at least over in Twitch it did. YouTube, you guys can see the Patreon link in this video and in the more info section. But, you know, give us some support over on Patreon if you like what we do. We have some cool tier benefits, and I'm a little late on getting back to revising those tier benefits, but I'm going to get back to doing that. The Patreon dollars we raise specifically go to STARJUMP stuff, whether it's helping out with Fleet Viewer stuff or paying for Ender's trip out to Equinox, so we can get community FaceTime and all that good stuff. For Equinox, actually, it paid for printing our banners up and stickers for giveaways and other cool stuff. So that's what the Patreon dollars go for. It goes to STARJUMP stuff. So really appreciate that. But anyways, the Carrack, I really think there could be a Carrack medical variant in the future. Who knows? Again, just think it would be really cool to see. So we've talked about 2 ships that we know are coming, the Corsair and the C8X. Another ship that we know is coming, not for IAE, although it'll be probably one of the last times you can buy it at its current price will be IAE, but is the Drake Vulture salvage ship, which will bring along salvage gameplay. You're gonna want to check that out if you're interested in a new form of gameplay. You're definitely gonna want to get a Vulture. If you have a Reclaimer, it does the same thing, but the Vulture is probably going to be the easiest way to experience the hull scraping, salvage tier 0 gameplay, whatever they're calling it. So, you know, the Drake Vulture. The Drake Vulture is also, so it's the Prospector to salvage, right? It's exactly how the Prospector is to mining. So if you enjoy the Prospector or you enjoy any of that industrial gameplay, the Vulture is definitely a ship you should be looking at. So, and it's one that I am definitely interested in. I actually do like mining, but I don't really like any of the mining ships. I'm not a big fan of the Prospector. I'm not a huge fan of the Mole. I think there's a couple people that will hate me for saying that. But so I'm not a huge fan of any of the mining ships, the Rock or any of that. But I'm hoping salvage is where it changes for me on the industrial gameplay, because I do really like the Vulture. I love the way it looks. And yes, before anyone says it, I do know it kind of looks a lot like the Venture from Eve. However, I'm probably one of the few people that thinks that while it does look like the Venture from silhouette perspective, in detail, the ship looks completely different to me. So, okay, so yeah, Fist to Face says, damn, I love the Orion. Yeah, I love the Orion too. I'm actually glad that RSI won out for the next mining ship. So I'm pretty excited about that. I would love to see. I really am excited to see larger RSI ships come out that go into player hands. So the Perseus, the Polaris, the Orion, those larger scale RSI ships, I'm pretty excited to see. So I hope CIG can get one in our hands sooner rather than later. What else do we have? So Vulture, and then obviously we have a couple of unknown ships. There's been some discussion on the Drake Cutter. I'm going to clear the canvas here, and we're going to use our lovely filters that Starlet put in for us. We'll go to Drake, and we're going to add all the Drake ships. Let's clear out a few, though, to make our lives a little easier. Let's unlock the canvas. Let's delete that one. Let's delete this one. Yeah. So here's the current Drake lineup. They don't really, there's a couple things they don't have. So we have the Cuddy variants, which fit nicely into that freelancer size ship. We actually have a lot of Cuddy variants, kind of crazy. We have two, I guess you'd call the Corsair a, so if the Cutlass is medium, the Corsair is technically a large. I don't know what they consider 100-meter long ships to be. I still consider it a large. Oh, what's that? We get a question coming in over here on Twitch. Question from Death Trooper. What ship do you think we are missing or still needs to fill a role in the game? Okay, well, that's exactly what I'm going into, Death, so that's a perfect question. So here's what I think is missing from the Drake lineup. Let's talk about that first. They are missing a starter ship, so something probably Buccaneer to Herald size that is specifically tailored to the single player experience. So what would that encompass? It would encompass the ability to do some light combat, not really a combat ship, so maybe a gun or two on it. It needs to be able to carry a little bit of cargo, just a little bit. Think 300 series or maybe 100 series, something like that. It needs to be carry a little cargo. So they're missing a ship there. They're also missing a ship in that like 40 to 45 meter range. And that's personally where I would like to see the Drake Cutter come in. I would like the Drake Cutter to be a 40-meter long, maybe 45-meter long, multi-crew salvage ship. So essentially would be the mole to mining. It would be the mole to salvage. I see that as being something that needs to be there. And I think with salvage coming online, it would definitely be a ship that they could get going with. The Reclaimer, on the other hand, is really filling more of the super large class. So the Orion class of salvage ships. So we do really need something in the middle there. If I had to bet what the Cutter is, though, it's one of these two. I think it's either the multi-crew salvage ship or it's a Drake starter ship. I guess what they're trying to get to is having every ship or every ship manufacturer having a starter ship. And I think the starter ship is supposed to be kind of a jack of all trades, master of none type ship. If that's the case, then the Drake Cutter doesn't interest me personally too much, but I would love to see like Crusader's version of a starter ship. I think that would be really interesting. Which is obviously not the Spirit, because the Spirits kind of go up into their small multi-crew ship class. Yeah, so let's see. So anyways, I see those are the two things that are missing from the Drake lineup. Now, what do I think is overall missing from the game right now? I primarily think there's 3 ships. No, I'm going to say 4 ships that are missing from the game right now. I wouldn't mind seeing, let's see if I can remember all these. I think we need the multi-crew multi-crew salvage ship. So that's something that's missing. We are missing the multi-crew mining. We're missing a sorry, bear with me. We are missing a I would say a medium, maybe not medium, maybe it's a large. No, it wouldn't be large. Yeah, I would say we're missing a medium mine layer. So something about Connie sized that can do a small number of size 3 mines. That would be really cool. Like maybe it can do 15 size 3 mines, or 15 size 2 sentries. I think that would be really cool. Something to get you up the mine lane, mine sweeping gameplay loop. We already know there's the Nautilus, obviously, but the Nautilus, I believe, is 125 meters, considered a large ship, kind of a large operation too. I think it has a crew count of 6. I could see a smaller variant of that to give people a stepping stone up to the Nautilus. And I could see, I think we need a dedicated E-War ship that is in the large category. So, see, the weird thing about large ships is I feel like large runs from like 45 or 50 meters all the way up to like 125-ish meters, which is a huge gulf. But I think we could use a large E-War ship, dedicated E-War ship that has really powerful computers and really powerful radar and scanning. But I think it would be cool if that particular ship out of the box has the ability to do radar spoofing, radar cloaking, radar jamming, all that stuff. I want it to be able to send out, scanning echoes, radar echoes to confuse other people that are doing scans of systems. Maybe you program it in to display a Kraken or an Idris in a system, and you can spoof other people. That ship, I think, would sell like hotcakes. I think we're missing a competitor to the Kraken. I think we do need another true large form capital carrier. I think it should be Crusader for that ship. And I also think we are missing another repair ship. I think we're missing a repair laser beam ship is what I think we're missing. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's clear our canvas again. And this is the one I think we're missing the most of all, by the way. So we have for repair, we have the Vulcan, right? We have actually, you know what? Let me switch my canvas settings here. Let's go back to our pretty isometrics. So we're missing the Vulcan, or no, we got the Vulcan. We have the Crucible. We'll do the hangar open variant. Okay. And I'm going to throw in the Kraken on this because the Kraken does have full repair, rearm, refuel capability. So we're going to throw it in there too. Okay. And there's other ships that do cross this line a little bit. There's other ships, I think, with some of those abilities here and there. But let's focus on these right now because they all have bespoke like repair capability. Okay. So we got a 39-meter ship, a 90-meter ship, and a 270-meter ship. So what we are missing here now. So I think personally, I think the Crucible is going to grow. So I'm just going to scale that up a little bit. I think the Crucible is going to grow. I think the Crucible is going to grow to somewhere about, let's say, 125 meters. Okay, which would put it. Let me see. Yeah, put it around that size. Then we have the Vulcan. Now we have a huge gap here. So I could see, I honestly don't know if we need a repair ship smaller than the Vulcan. But what we do need is we need a ship that is exactly like the Vulture, except for repair. And all it has to do is reverse shoot its lasers. We've already seen that repair gameplay is kind of coming on board because of salvage. The lasers can also shoot back to repair areas. We need a ship, and it could even be a variant of the Vulture, or maybe it's the Vulture that just has some CPU blades switched out or whatever. But it'd be cool if the Vulture could repair as well, or a ship like that in this size category. The difference between it and the Vulcan, even though they're roughly the same size, the difference between it and the Vulcan is the Vulcan's repair work is primarily done by drones, right? So I'm going to pop the drone down here. It's primarily done with these little Aegis repair drones. Okay, and you can see the drone here. Okay, it is able to carry 4 of those repair drones, and those repair drones are what does the repair work. The only problem with that is this now requires drone tech. So I don't see the Vulcan coming online or going flight ready anytime soon, right? So what we really need is a ship that can work now. We already know they're working on the salvage lasers and salvage repair lasers. So you might as well make a ship that can repair things with lasers. I could see that being a Drake cutter, maybe. We are still missing a ship somewhere in the. Let's go. I'm just going to throw down a constellation real quick here. We are missing a ship in this size range, though, in that kind of 60-meter range, 60 to 70-meter range that can fill a repair gap there. I could see that because repair is going to be absolutely critical, especially for systems like Pyro. So to fully fill out the line of repair ships, I could see something there in that range. The difference, too, between these two, even though the Crucible is a smaller ship than the Kraken, they kind of specialize at repairing different things. The Kraken can full repair, a bunch of 2 medium and 4, 5, 6 small ships, right? So 2 medium, 6 small ships. But the Crucible, on the other hand, can repair capital ships, right? So it's really hard to compare the two. It's more about the role and less about the ship size. Yeah, Death Trooper says over on Twitch, says AWACS, CWIS ship comment. So I think there needs to be, Baron of Mork, raiding with a party of 17. Baron, thank you so much. Salute to you. Hope you are well. Thank you for that raid. Everyone in Baron's channel, thank you for stopping by. I am STARJUMP Grim, otherwise just known as Grim, sometimes known as STARJUMP. A lot of people confuse our names over here at STARJUMP, but we make the STARJUMP Fleet Viewer, so you can check that out at starjumpfleetviewer.com or hangar.link. Go check the Fleet Viewer. That's what's up behind me. We also make fan cinematics and other cool stuff. Give my channel a follow if you like what we do here at STARJUMP. Thank you so much for that raid again, Baron. Really appreciate it. Hope you were doing well. How was your stream today? What's up, Baron? Let's see. Seb, Baron, Captain, thank you for those follows. Really, really appreciate it. We eclipsed the 1,000 follower mark in Twitch today, which is really, really cool. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Again, we make STARJUMP Fleet Viewer, and we have a bunch of other cool projects that are kind of in the pipeline and one day that will come out. We're really excited about. So, Baron says, pretty good. We were out for pirating. Awesome. Well, you're probably pretty excited by the ISC we just had and how the floodgates of piracy will soon open. But again, thank you for that raid. Really awesome of you for stopping by. Everyone in my channels and STARJUMP community, make sure you give Baron a follow on his Twitch channel as well. Always really appreciate the raids. So we were just talking about what's missing from Star Citizen, and Death Trooper had brought up AWACS. That's another thing I think we're missing, though, is that bigger E-warship. I'm thinking something Perseus size, something in that 100-meter range that is purely radar scanning, has the ability to do spoofing, all kinds of electronic warfare, cloaking, all kinds of stuff. I think we need a ship like that. I think it should have a capital class radar. I think it should have a bunch of CPU blades in it. Maybe it's slightly undergunned, but I think that would be fine for its role. Via Nocturne says the Liberator has repair option also, right? So the Liberator has manual repair options, meaning you can use repair lasers and get out there and repair the ships on the deck, but it does not have bespoke repair options, no. Like it does not have repair arms and can't do extensive repair, according to the last Q&A I read. Eric says, I understand the Kraken has 2 small ship interior hangars to conduct repairs on small ships, but where do you get the medium ship repairing from unless you're referring to man-portable tools repair? So, yes, Eric is correct. In its current form, the medium ships would obviously be able to be repaired because they would, Baron, no problem. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you very much for that raid. I really, really appreciate it. I am restreaming right now too, so I got Twitch chat going, YouTube chat, so I'm kind of playing both angles here. But thank you for that raid. Thank you for stopping by. Really, really, really appreciate it. Eric over on YouTube was saying that he understands the Kraken has 2 small ship interior hangars to conduct repairs on small ships. And he was asking where I got the idea that medium ships could be repaired. So I think, Eric, where I was coming from with that is that if you go by current gameplay standards, I guess the Kraken would be able to repair those medium ships on the deck with just the repair capability. But I think you're right. In the future, there is no repair option from the deck like that. So yeah, the Kraken only has the ability in the future to do the repair in the 2 small hangars. So that's a good point. Yeah, did I say love you to the Raiders? I might have. I'm a loving guy, Bingo. I'm a very loving guy. So again, we're missing some ships. Really interested to see what the cutter is. I personally don't. I know a lot of people were saying the cutter might be some sort of like fast moving 50 to 60, 70, 80 meter Drake ship. I don't know what role it would play, and it would be awfully strange for them to be announcing a ship like that when the Corsair is launching, because the Corsair really plays that role. The Corsair is 55, 60 meter long, fast, general purpose ship. So I don't think the cutter is going to be anything like that. I think the cutter is going to be a smaller ship, and it's either going to be the starter ship or it's going to be a salvage ship in about the 40 meter range. So I think that's what it is. Last but not least, we heard some leaks on some sort of Argo MCV, possible manufacturing ship of some sort. We don't know a lot about it, but I think that it could be a ship that really plays really nicely with the Pioneer. I think we do need a ship to kind of go along with the Pioneer that can help craft and manufacture things to go along with homesteads and outposts, but maybe is not the outpost itself, right? So maybe that's mining apparatus, maybe it's water, something to like well water with, something to grow, create a farm with. Maybe it's to manufacture stuff like that. Or maybe it's something to like manufacture or customize, or maybe optimize components for racing teams or something like that. Maybe the crafting vehicle is going to play some sort of role there. I personally hope it is something that plays nicely with the Pioneer, though, and ties in with homestead building. I think that would be a big seller, because right now the only inroad to homesteading, which I think is going to be a big deal for a lot of Star Citizen players, it's going to be your little place to call home. It's going to be an entire gameplay loop to some people. Build your outpost, scout for a location for your outpost, fill it with items and stuff like that. But the only way into that gameplay loop right now is a big giant capital ship that is hull limited, the Pioneer. So I think a smaller ship to kind of like sister up with the Pioneer would be really cool. So I hope that's what it is. We'll see. Let's see. Fox over at Twitch says, would you consider the Carrack repair in a way also as component repair room and can hold drones? Yeah, I think so. I think especially if it can hold those Aegis repair drones, the one that we see right down here with the Vulcan, if it can hold these Aegis repair drones, then which it should be able to. CIG said there should be some ability for drones to switch in and out. But if that's the case, then yeah, it could be considered some sort of repair ship. I guess it would have to have its cargo modules filled with repair material. But yeah, I think so. Real quick, everyone, I'm going to have to run because I'm going to get a few things ready and hope to be gaming tonight a little bit, possibly with Ender. We've recently cranked up a little bit of Arma 3. We've been playing that a lot lately, and we've even reactivated some World of Warcraft accounts. We used to play Warcraft one back in the day, so we're going to explore a little bit of that. So I might do a bit of that tonight. Thank you everyone for stopping by. It looks like I've got a few of my stream issues worked out, especially with Stream Elements and Nightbot, but now I got them both fighting to post stuff for you all, so I'll get that sorted. I think I have my timers overlapping a bit too much, so I'll get that sorted. Yeah, Fox Velox, me and Ender ran a Milsim group called the 111 SOG, 111 SOG. for a long time, and we were also big content creators over on Arma 3. We ran a podcast called ArmaNet. We were pretty much the biggest podcast in the Arma 3 community. We had the game developers on multiple times, all that good stuff. So we were really plugged in there, and we were big in the Arma 3 community. We've stepped away from it for a long time, but we're back into it. We run hardcore Mild Sim. We'll probably start doing some streaming of it too. Bingo says, question, does the Crucible get drones too? I can't remember. Yes, the Crucible is supposed to have drones. Yes, the Crucible is supposed to have drones. I don't know where the hell they go, but it's supposed to have drones. Yes. That being said, everyone, thank you for coming in. Thank you for all the follows. Finally eclipsed that 1,000 follower mark on Twitch. If you haven't gone over to our YouTube and subscribed to us there, please do. Our YouTube subscriber numbers have just been stalled. I think the big reason for that is because I haven't done any more fan cinematics, but I plan on I'm starting to do that again. There's stuff happening in the background. I'll start giving sneak peeks into that soon. Outlaw, thank you for the first time chat. Thanks for sticking around with us. But I'll start showing off where the next cinematic is going. There's going to be some really cool stuff there. Big thanks to my fellow Star Jumpers in chat, which are StarJump Ender, VMXEO, and StarJump Starlet. Thank you all for being in chat and hanging out with me a little bit as I sit here kind of like an idiot and talk about random things all day. I will catch you all later. We're going to do some additional streaming this week. Got big giveaways over on Ender's channel. And come IAE, this is kind of my last announcement for tonight. For IAE, we are planning a bunch of StarJump content. We're going to have IAE StarJump Station special. We're going to have random streams on random days talking about IAE announcements. We're probably going to do an IAE Fleet Builders special episode. And we're going to have things added to Fleet Viewer as soon as we possibly can on any new IAE ships that are announced. We're probably going to have some giveaways. And we're sort of getting it organized now. We're thinking about doing a big kind of like digital bar. I don't know if I even want to call it a full bar citizen, a kind of a digital IAE watch party hangout StarJump session with all of our StarJump friends and family. So that being said, more announcements on that stuff soon. Everyone, have a great day. I'll talk to you all very soon. For those of you that are around tonight, I'll be playing games tonight with Ender. Everyone else, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time, and look out for Ender's channel on Sunday, where we'll be doing another live Fleet Builders episode. This episode will be on building a race team, a fleet of ships centered around supporting race teams and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's going to be really cool. Okay, I think that's it. Everyone, have a great day. Have a great night. All that good stuff. Let me figure out how to deal with what I'm dealing with real quick, and then I'll end this stream.